Guruji goes on. Punni papi akhan nahe. Punni means, pun means virtuous. Punni means the person who is virtuous. A virtuous person. Papi is a sinner. If pap is sin, then papi is one who commits sin. Punni papi akhan nahe. We need to look at the spelling of the word akhan here. So there's two different spellings of akhan. The first one has an ankar underneath it, which means it's a noun. The word akhan means to say. But when we say akhana, what we're talking about is an action, to say something. In Gurbani, that's spelt with a sehari. A verb to do something is usually spelt with a sehari. A name of something is spelt with an ankar. Here, the spelling is with an ankar. So, a lot of the times you'll see in your translations something that is mistranslated in this line. And the way it's mistranslated is they use this spelling, akhan, the incorrect spelling. Most of the time you will say, Punni papi akhan nahe, you will see this translation that says, I cannot speak about who is a punni and who is a papi. The punni and papi cannot be spoken of. But that would have to use this spelling, because to speak of something is to do something, is an action. But that's not the spelling in Gurbani. So you need to be aware when you see incorrect translations. Some people also say, I cannot say how many papis have become punni. Punni papi akhan nahe. I cannot describe how many sinners have become pure. But akhan nahe uses a different spelling. Here, akhan means to say. Punni papi akhan nahe. That to be a sinner or a saint, to be sinful or virtuous, isn't just a label. Akhan nahe is not a saying, is not a phrase. Just by calling yourself pure doesn't make you pure. Just by calling yourself a sinner doesn't make you a sinner. These aren't labels that we can put on ourselves. If you believe yourself to be a sinner, you go and do some actions, and then you say, I am now free of my sin. I am now pure because I've done these actions. That alone isn't enough. What does Guruji say is the true meaning? Punni papi akhan nahe, kar kar karna likh le jao. Kar kar karna. Doing, doing and doing is what writes the real name down. What you do is what counts, not what you say you do. Kar kar means doing and doing. Karna means that which you do. By continuously doing, something is written down. Let's go into this a little bit more. Guruji has made it clear that what you call yourself is irrelevant. What you do with yourself is what actually ends up being written down. You write your fate by your actions, not by what you say you are. The line continues, and in order to understand this, we have to go to the next line. Ape bij, ape hi khao. Ape, you yourself. Bij, notice bij has a sehari. It doesn't mean seed. In Punjabi, the word bij means seed. But if it meant you are a seed, the bij would have an ankar. But what is the verb here? You plant the seed. Ape bij with a sehari. As you sow so shall you reap. Ape beej, ape hi khao. What you plant is what you eat. As you act, so you shall receive. Ape beej, ape hi khao. There's two things being mentioned here. One is your perception of yourself. One is the actual reality of what you do. How you think you are is different to how you actually are. We talked about earlier how none of us think that we're sinners. In the last session, we said that we can even accept that we are a criminal, but never accept that we're a sinner. So we have a different idea of what we are. But Guruji says, actually, let's talk about what you do, not what you think you do. Your perception of yourself is very important here. What you think you are determines how you act. That's why your perception and your actions are both being talked about here. How you think you are, what you think of yourself, determines how you act. If you didn't used to be religious in the past, you took a label upon yourself that says, I'm not one of those religious people. And because I'm not one of those religious people, it allows me to do certain actions. Religious people don't go clubbing. Religious people don't smoke and drink. Religious people don't stay out all night. That's my perception of religious people. Because I don't identify with that, it means I'm allowed to do all those things. Your idea of who you think you are determines what actions you perform. And then one day you had a eureka moment and you realized you were religious. Then you have to leave all the things that the non-religious people do behind. Why? Because your label of yourself has changed. You now think you're religious, and because you think you're religious, where you used to stay up all night and go clubbing, now you get up early and go to the temple, to the gurdwara, to the church, to the mosque. Where you were having one type of sangat, you've now replaced that with a different type of sangat. Where does all of that change come from? Where does all of that new inspiration comes from? It comes from a change within yourself. First, you identify with a new way of living. And you say, I don't identify with my old self anymore. That's not who I am anymore. A way to think about it. As you perceive, so you receive. What you think is what you become. How you see yourself is how you will manifest yourself. And how we see ourselves defines everything that we do. But Guruji is making it clear, let's have a real understanding about what we're defining ourselves as. If we define ourselves as a sinner, does that mean we are? But more importantly, punni. If we define ourselves as pure and religious and spiritual, does that mean you actually are spiritual? Are you a saint by saying that I'm no longer a sinner? Guru says your actions will decide. So how we act is based on our thoughts, our mind, our thinking, our self-identity, our self-perception. Notice here, this is the thing that needs to be washed. Guruji started by talking about this analogy of washing. Pariye mat papa ke sang. What is the pap? Your self-identity is the pap. O tope nave ke rang. That's the answer there. But Guruji always wants to help us a little bit more. Let's understand this path even further. Let's understand this self-identity even further. How you think you are determines how you act, and how you act determines the whole universe around you and how the universe reacts to you. The consequences of your actions are also based on your identity. Nothing is without consequence. They say every action has a reaction. Every action has a consequence. This is the real meaning of karam. What is karam? What is karma? The way we act has a certain outcome, has a certain consequence. Most people think of karam like if I do something to someone, the universe has to pay me back in the same way. If I hit someone, if I swear at someone, if I do something bad to someone, if I steal from someone, at some point, the universe will do exactly the same back to me. That is the misconception of karam. If I hit you, at some point either you will hit me or somebody else will hit me. If I steal from you, either you will steal from me or somebody else will steal from me, and then I'll say, that's my karam. But that's not what karam's talking about. Because if we think about it, in reality, it never works that way. So we have this idea of what karam is, that if I do something, the universe will do exactly the same back to me. And when we know in reality that doesn't really happen, when we've seen time and time again people who commit certain acts get away with them, then we say, well, karam is still going to get him. Maybe karam will get him in the next life. We don't change our thinking of karam, we just delay the karam. When something bad happens to us that we can't explain, then we say, oh, it must be to do with my pichle karam, my past lives, my past actions. Because I must have done this to someone in order for this to be happening to me. So we don't understand karam, we don't change our idea of karam, because everyone says it, so it must be true. We just defer it. We say, okay, he'll get what's due to him in his next life. Or the Sikhs like to say, Maharaj will do something. Maybe in Sachkhand, he won't be allowed. Maybe he'll get his punishment after he dies. This is not what karam is. Karam means that which you do has a consequence. If I hit you, you may never hit me back, but that will change how you are. That will change your life. My one action can have a ripple effect on your life, how you treat other people, how you treat me, what happens to you as a person. All of that is my karam. So my karam isn't that I do something to you. My karam isn't that my action to you will have an opposite and equal reaction. My karam is by the very act of doing something to you, every consequence after that is my karam. Everything that happens after that is a direct result of my action that I did towards you. That is karam. That is what we need to understand. The responsibility that comes with that is that at every opportunity you have to say something to someone, every opportunity you have to think, every opportunity you have to act, you're aware of that debt that you collect every time you do something. In Gurmukhi, we have a very interesting phenomenon. Gurbani uses the word karam to mean your actions. Where we talk about karam as the reactions, Gurbani uses the word karam to mean your actions. Your actions are your karam. Not the things that come back to you, but the very things that you do is your karam. Because every time you do something, it has a ripple effect. That is the meaning of karam. So here, when we talk about your perception being the instigator of your actions, Guruji says, let's not talk about your actions. Let's talk about the thing that's defining your actions. Your self-identity, what you think you are, defines what you do. What you do defines how everything else works around you. So it all starts with, who do I think I am? That is your paap. That is our sin.